Good evening. This is Stephanie from Steph's Tarot Interpretations. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. I wanted to see if the United States was going to start bringing back some jobs that have been long outsourced to China and India and so on and so forth, like chips and products for like the automobile industry and just a lot of different things, just so we're not dependent upon other countries anymore making our products, or we have at least another another source for our products. I heard that the GM factory is going to be shutting down production for 2 weeks. They're going to be paying their employees 75% of their salary, though, which is wonderful. I know when I was laid off and then brought back during COVID, I was working from home, but at 75% of my salary too, and they paid my medical benefits, which was great. I was thankful for that. I was laid off for about like 3 months prior to that, and it worked out as well as can be. Excuse me, but anyway. And then I heard there's a Ford factory, I think that might be in Ohio or something, that's also shutting down for 5 days, 4 or 5 days. But they're going to be reassigning people to do other things, whatever, I guess it needs to be done in the factory. But it has to do with supplies. They don't have the supplies that they need in order to keep the factories running. And I want to make sure this is going the right way. And it's, our society, our economy, workers have come to a point where it was either you're college bound, and then you have to, take out a mortgage, your first mortgage, literally to pay off your college debt, and get a decent paying job. Or people that didn't go to college, they're pretty much relegated to retail. There's some production, there's some manufacturers, not many. There's a lot of construction, but what was really a big salary or a big point for middle class growth, especially after World War II and everything, were the jobs. We just kept, and they were middle class jobs, factory jobs, good paying jobs. Families, kind of fathers worked there, sons worked there, brothers worked there, and of course pensions and everything. And you hear all different kinds of stories about unions and things like that. But there were good, decent paying jobs. So the people that weren't necessarily meant for college. Not everybody's meant for college. A lot of people like doing things with their hands, like to be creative or fix things or work on things too. And we've just kind of forgotten about that. So what did we do? We decided to outsource things, to Asia or wherever, where we can get things made as cheaply as possible. And the companies can make some pretty darn good profits off of them, and the higher ups make some pretty decent bonuses, and it kind of eliminated a lot of very good paying jobs. So now we're seeing how it's biting us in the behind, where as a country closes for COVID or whatever, war, whatever, we're stuck, and we can't get what we need to get in order to keep on manufacturing cars and whatever it is. And we don't need any more shutdowns. I mean, a lot of people are just getting back to work. Old cars are now the new cars, and they're costing an arm and a leg, and God forbid you should get into an accident and total your car, then you're kind of screwed. But so that's what I want to ask. I want to say, will the United States be bringing back jobs that were outsourced to other countries. Will the United States be bringing back jobs that were outsourced to other countries? Will the United States be bringing back jobs that were outsourced to other companies? The United States become less dependent and also become less dependent on other countries for their supplies. One more shuffle. Will the United States become less dependent for their supplies and their products by bringing back the jobs that were formerly outsourced? Okay, so let me cut the cards. Two, 3. And, okay, in the past. Let's see what it says about the past. The past was, well, all right. We have the 7 of Swords. So, stole a lot of jobs by the outsourcing. And created a lot of profit for those that did outsource jobs, and so it made more money for them, so it gave them more incentive to outsource even more jobs, more and more jobs, and close factories. And now we have the Rust Belt, and the Midwest is, it's either farms or, they were producing, they were always manufacturing an awful lot of stuff, but it's all over the place. But this is thievery, this is making off, this is deceit. And the guy is really happy about, the smile on his face, he's a creep. That's what he looks like to me. But and swords are also about logic and communication and everything, and no one really said anything about, well, okay, we're going to send some of these jobs overseas and everything, and either they didn't realize, or I would think more the people up top realized what a moneymaker this would be for them, and how much they can get away with things. But it was going to cut other people down, but that didn't matter. There would be just less people on their payroll. So they're kind of like stealing from the workers. But that's what it did. And it also, but there's always a price to pay when you're doing something wrong, doing the wrong thing, being dishonest, and trying to get away with things. Sooner or later, unfortunately, over the decades that this has been going on, people have made a lot of money off the backs of people that then were laid off and had to work 2-3 jobs just to survive. But this is going to come back and haunt them. Sooner or later, the thief gets caught. Okay, so the present, we have the Empress, which, okay, yeah, and this is also all the United States, and not that we have oligarchs in United States, but they might as well be some of the richest people, the billionaires that had made a fortune. There, I mean, not all of them. So many. There's many that are philanthropists, and they're just giving their money back to people because how many billions do you really need? How many millions do you really need? But then there's others that just keep on looking to get more, looking for more ways to get more money. More money is an addiction. And they became very wealthy. And this is the Empress, and they became very pregnant with wealth and goods and materials and it did keep products cheaper in the long run, but like the law of supply and demand, if you have little supply and the demand is there or increases, the prices are going to go up. And then people can't afford to purchase things. But if you have a constant stream of having a healthy workforce, having a very busy, healthy, viable workforce keeps the economy strong, keeps the country strong, and regardless of whether stuff is made in the USA, which would be more expensive than slave labor, using children and places across Europe, not Europe, but in Asia and whatever, or them they're getting paid $2 a day or whatever. It keeps people working, keeps people happy, keeps the economy strong in that way. So they're buying houses, they're buying cars, they're buying more things of quality. You don't necessarily, there's still going to be ups and downs in the economy, but not to the extent. Like the people, middle class is getting poorer. The poor are just still poor and getting worse, and need supplements in order to just sustain them. And you have the rich getting richer, and they're also becoming more powerful, and also a lot of them are. It's amazing how many Congress people are million and billionaires. Why? If they're making 150,000, let's say, a year, how are they millionaires? How are they billionaires? Because of their connections, because of Citizens United, that was a great vote by Supreme Court to allow that to stand. So corporations are now people too. So which kind of goes along with this. That's in the past, and that's Citizens United and corporations now being able to get richer and fatter, and now influence other people to make sure that keeps happening. But I digress a little bit, because what's interesting though, this is the Empress once again. And the Empress, she's fertile, she's comfortable, she's the Queen Mother of the Tarot. She is the mother of everyone, but she's also represented by many tarot readers. She represents Russia, which kind of sort of fits in the grand scheme of things. And okay, now that we have Russia, now we have the war in the Ukraine, and of course now there's COVID. I think one part of Shanghai is now going to be shut down for a week because COVID is running rampant, and it's starting to run rampant again in certain areas. This BA2, another variant, is starting to run wild, and that's another reason why we have shortages and everything. And I'm sure the war isn't helping, and with Russia. But I also wonder, it's just weird because she's in the present, she represents Russia. I just wonder about how much more involvement, how much more involved Russia really is with this whole thing as far as bringing jobs back, other than helping probably oligarchs and Putin, whatever, helping different causes within the United States to help other fellow billionaires and millionaires keep their money, and everybody's scratching each other's back. And she can also symbolize too that we do have a wealth of people that want to work and want to get paid for a good job. And look at right now what's happening in the employment. We had like the lowest claims last week in, I forget how many years, but I think it was in decades. People are looking for the best job, for the best money, for the best benefits, the best work-life balance, and they want to be comfortable. And there's a lot of people, that will, if given the right circumstances, the right price, they'll take it. And I think that this is showing the abundance of people out there, and especially with newer generation growing up and everything. I think that this is showing that, and we also we have the technology, we have the ability to make this stuff. It's just been a heck of a lot cheaper to go overseas and send it to somebody else so they can make a mint. So this is showing that we have the ability. We definitely have the ability, and all the resources. We just have to make use of them. So in the future, we have the King of Wands. So it's taking action. It's he's practical. He gets things done, and he thinks in terms of everything, all the possibilities, the beneficial possibilities. He's the one in charge, and he thinks of all what the best way is for the country, for his realm, what the best way to go about getting supplies, getting things done in the country without having to, maybe rely on some people for some things, but also having a backup plan. The King of Wands is the go-to man to get a project done, get a decision made. And this tells me that in the future, this is something that is being looked upon, thought about, and you have an Empress. You have the Empress too. The Emperor, it's not the Emperor. It's the King of Wands, but he's seeing the wealth of, and he laying down. He's looking at the Empress. His face is in the direction of the Empress, and he sees the bounty of what we have available here in the United States. And instead of delays and constantly shutting down, then having to restart and rebuild, and then wonder when the next shutdown would be, why not prepare, have a backup plan. I think it shouldn't be a backup plan. I think it should be a plan. I think you always need a backup plan. And with COVID, that definitely exposed that. Because a lot of people, no one ever saw anything like that coming. And it showed us how vulnerable we are. But I think now, as the future goes on, and the war in Ukraine, COVID's maybe coming around again, or who knows what's going to happen. There's no more normal as we knew it. There's a new normal. We have to plan more carefully. We can't just keep on saying, oh, it's not going to happen, or we don't have to plan, and just getting lazy again. We have to start thinking in terms of the what ifs, what might happen, and make sure that we can still function for a decent amount of time without having our backs put against the wall and having to shut down, putting people out of work again. And then, of course, it affects their benefit, their profit line too. But there has to be a backup plan, and he's the planner. So for clarifiers, okay, so moving out of troubled waters, the Six of Wands. They're taking Six of Swords. I'm sorry, I always say that. I say the wands because the gentleman is with it's not a wand, but with the stick or the board pushing him and his family out to calmer waters. It's the Six of Swords. And Six of Swords is like taking your troubles. You're moving out of rough waters. The waters here are kind of choppy, but then you can see over here how much more calm the water is. But the Six of Swords is also saying that you're taking your troubles, your worries, your faults, and everything else that you haven't really learned from, or whatever. You pack them away along with you, and you're just taking them, moving them to you and them to a different place. And who knows? When one door closes, another opens, and hopefully it makes it a big difference. And some of these problem swords will go away. But that's what it seems like. It's like, I want to say yes, we're going to be doing something along those lines, because we still need stuff. Everybody needs stuff to survive, to operate, to live in, to live by, to live for. And this would also bring a lot of new hope to people as far as getting a decent paying job and being able to support their family. And they're looking to the horizon and moving towards a better place, a better possibility, a better opportunity, which is now what the market, the employment market is right now. And people are either not taking jobs, or they're starting their own work, or whatever, again, based pretty much because they want the best of what they can get for their work, for themselves. Actually, a life. They're not working to live. They're living to live. They're not living to work. They want to work and then have a life afterwards. And so that would suggest to me that perhaps more opportunities will start opening up that will enable people to be able to get a better job and support their family and not have to work 2 and 3 jobs and be totally exhausted, and that's their life. That isn't a life. That is not a life. So this is pretty appropriate. This is the Eight of Pentacles, which is the craftsman, which is the worker, which is the craftsman. He's the master of his craft. He's putting the finishing touches on each pentacle, which is bringing him money. And they each have value because they're so well done. And when you're proud of your work, you tend to put more of yourself into it, and you try to make it the best product that it could possibly be. And that's what symbolizes here. That's what this card symbolizes right here. The task person. Well, not the task person. It sounds like taskmaster. It's not. This is the individual worker. This is the person that's proud of what they're doing. And there's a lot of crafts people out there. A lot of people that, again, that are handy, that are handy, but just need a direction or an opening, something, in order to be able to show what they can do. And this is suggesting to me that we will have more of those jobs back. Maybe not all. I'm sure not all. It's still a global society, global economy, but I believe that there will be a lot more, that there will be jobs coming back that to the United States, that people will be able to make a living off of, enjoy what they're doing, and it would be better for our society as a whole and safer, and makes our country stronger because we're self-reliant. We're not relying on other people, and we've become too reliant on other people, and it was just only a matter of time, just like everything else. You can't keep on thinking that doing the same thing over and over and over again, at some point something's not going to change. It does. Everything changes, so you have to change with it. That's what life is all about. And the last clarifier, this is the Queen of Cups. So she's holding the cup on, the lid on the cup, and she's showing, she's representing happiness and love and compassion. And comfort. And cups also relate to not only just emotions, but also creativity too. So there will be more creativity around, more ways for people to become creative and make money off of that. And it will make a lot of more people happy, more comfortable. They won't have to worry as much as far as with money, and actually enjoy what it is that they do. She's a queen. She's a daughter. She's the daughter of the empress, but she's showing her maternal side, and she's taking care of the workers by opening a door for them, and showing compassion and opening the door to creativity. So whereas We were losing jobs in the past, just being sent out to other countries for greed, because it was cheaper labor, and so we're stealing from babies and from people that are making absolutely nothing and taking jobs away from good paying jobs from Americans, but somebody's profiting off of that. And now we're showing, well, we have the abundance, we have the brain power, we have the manpower, we have all the abilities to figure out and get these things created and produced. It's here. It's just waiting for us to take advantage of it. So we take advantage of it with the King of Wands. He's thinking. He's seeing what it is that we need to do, that we can't rely on other people to do our work for us. We have to do it ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves first. Always got to take care of each other, but you have to look out for number one, and you can't rely on somebody to constantly support you or supply you with your goods, because you're just hurting yourself in the long run. So with that being said, we're moving out of troubled waters. Not just the person that's looking for the job, but we are, from unstable waters, unstable resources or areas for our resources, and moving it into a calmer situation without still the same problems, greed and all that. We're moving along with it, but I want to say we're moving home. We're bringing it back. We're coming back. That's what this symbolizes. We're coming back, and we're bringing our problems with us, and that would be the cost of wages and all that kind of stuff, and lesser profit or whatever. But we're renewing our ability to build things and create things that we need in order to keep our economy going and to be able to keep on building and creating other things. And it's being represented by the Eight of Pentacles, where we have master producers, technicians, creators, mechanics, honing their craft, doing the best work that they can, and they're being paid for it, and they're happy. And with that, there's contentment, and there's security, and there's comfort and stability and happiness by doing so. We are relying on ourselves to keep ourselves working, busy, not having to worry about being closed off, stable. So I believe that we shall be doing that. Again, maybe not to, we're going to be bringing everything back, and it's going to take a long time. But I think that will be what we're going to start seeing, is the United States and probably other countries too, that send their certain jobs overseas, might be saying, like, maybe we should start relying on ourselves a little bit more again instead of others. So let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed that reading, and thank you for tuning in. I'll be back in another day or so with another reading. Give me some hints in the comments below. One of them, someone did ask about regarding Putin, and which I've already been talking about Putin. I know a lot of people have been, but a lot of people have been putting down requests, so I'm just writing them down on my list. But this was something that I've been thinking about too, and I thought it would be something a little bit different than constantly focusing on poor Ukraine. And again, let's all keep them all in our prayers, and everyone in Europe too. Is just scary. But again, thank you very much for stopping by and listening to my reading. And like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you.